Okay, everyone, welcoming Thomas Tuchel to the room. Let's settle down. Again, 2 questions per person, please, and use the microphone available and raise your hand if you do have a question. Rob, when you're ready.
Hey, Thomas.
Hi.
Can you give us your thoughts on the game tomorrow and what your approach to it will be? Maybe who's going to get more minutes, who needs a bit of a break, what you want to get out of the game?
Good. No one needs a break. Everyone is available. That's the very good news. No one was injured after the first. No complaints after the first match. 1 day for recovery. 2 good training sessions yesterday and today, and ready to give it a push tomorrow. Push means more than 45 minutes. Players will play 60, maybe some 70. Decision is not made yet. I will do this. We will make this decision in the afternoon. But that's the plan. We have then the chance to load the players 1 day later in a match behind closed doors on our training facility, and then pre-camp is finished and we start our adventure 2 days later in Kansas. But like I said, we expect a push tomorrow, physical and from intensity and also from style of play, from ball speed and everything. Wanna take the next step, and we feel ready for it.
More than any other player in the squad, it feels to me like you've kind of tried especially hard to accommodate John Stones. I mean, we saw you take him out to Barcelona last summer when he wasn't playing, just because you wanted to spend some time with him, get him around the group. What does he offer that others don't? And I wondered if it's maybe a positive that he hasn't played as much football as some of the other guys in the team. Maybe he's a bit fresher going into this tournament.
Well, he feels very, very good. He feels totally competitive. He hasn't played a lot of minutes, not as many as we would have liked ideally, but he was available. I think that's a big difference. So he was not injured a lot through the season. He was available. He has trust in his body, and most importantly, now he did ever so good for us when he was in camp. He offers us a lot. I think like he is as a football player on the highest level, defender of highest quality, can step into midfield. He's confident in build-up. He can switch between different formations fluidly. He's a proven winner, won so many titles. He knows what it takes. And on top of it, he's a very nice personality, and totally accepted, nice person, friendly, humble, and top personality. So that's the full package. I'm very happy that he arrived in a calm set of mind. Very happy to be in camp, ready to go, and the best news is he's training every training session. He played the 45 minutes and is ready to go. I think he's on high level.
Carrie.
So Thomas, with that said, would you be ready to start John Stones in the first match against Croatia?
Of course, everyone can start. Everyone is fit. Everyone is ready, and John is one of them. Everyone is ready to go, but before we think about this, we have 2 more matches to play, and hopefully we take the next step, and hopefully we all stay healthy and have no injury worries, that we have the full availability, and then hopefully the full choice before Croatia. But first things first.
You have the whole gang back together. Declan Rice, your vice captain. When Gareth Southgate took over at England, he said, "What I need is more leaders on the pitch, more captains without armbands," what Declan Rice is often described at. First, talk to us about your decision to make Declan vice-captain, and tell us how many captains without armbands do you have to go and win this World Cup?
Well, we have a leadership group of 5-6 players, if you want to call them captains without armband, and Declan is one of them, and Harry is of course one of them. So these are the 2 guys with armband. Harry is our captain, there's no doubt about it, and Declan is our second captain. When Harry was not in camp and didn't play against Wales, we had the choice, and it was a very quick one and a very obvious one for me to give it to Declan. He is on highest football IQ. He takes care about formation. He takes care about our structure. He takes care about the adaptation, about the rhythm in our game. I think he had outstanding 2 seasons in his personal career. The last 2 years with Arsenal was one of the main players for me in Europe in the Champions League campaigns. One of the very best midfielders in Europe at the very moment, full of confidence, and that's why he's my vice captain.
Back there.
Hi Thomas, João Miguel Nunes, RTP Portugal. Maybe you wouldn't like to make like rankings among the teams, but to ask you very clearly, do you put England among the favourites to win this World Cup?
How many favourites are there?
I don't know, that's what I want to know. In your opinion, of course.
No, we're not the top favourites. We can't be because we haven't won it for so many years. So there are like proven winners in the tournament with more success in recent tournaments. So these are the favourites, and we compete for the trophy. We dream big, and we know what it takes. If you dream big, comes with responsibility. Responsibility is on the effort. So this is where the focus is, and we want to compete. We see ourselves as competitors, as challengers, and we want to go all the way, but I don't think that we are the heavy favourites.
Considering favourites and talking about Portugal, because it's my country, I would like to know if you see Portugal as one of the favourite teams to win this World Cup. And of course,
after the success in Nations League, yes, and after the involvement of the Portuguese players for Paris Saint-Germain, yes, you're one of the favourites.
Yeah, I would also add this part of the question, because it's
your
maybe
coach
Ronaldo's...
Your coach will not like.
No. The question is that I would like to ask you also about Cristiano, because it would be maybe his last World Cup, the last dance. Of course, it puts an extra to the Portuguese team, or no?
I don't know, actually. I don't know, but you're from Portugal, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. Your country has a strong football team, strong coach, strong group, proven winners, heavily involved with the success of PSG. Top coach. You had the success in Nations League, so again, you're one of the favourites.
Okay, Sammy.
Hi, Thomas. Can I just check on the Arsenal players that have arrived now? I've not spoken to you since. Yeah. Their condition, and I've obviously played a lot of football this season, but they've also only played 8 or 9 days ago. How much do you want to see from them in obviously the game tomorrow and then the game on the Thursday?
From the Arsenal players?
Yeah.
We still have to take care a little bit about Bukayo, who had an injury in March camp and carried it through to, of course, into his club campaign, and was available and made himself available in the end of the season and did this brilliantly. But he was managed in between matches, and that continues a little bit at the very moment. So we're building him up. Noni is 100% available, Declan is 100% available, and Abs as well. So we need to take we're just coming from training basically. Everyone was involved in training, including Bukayo. Everyone made himself available, so we have full choice, and we need to take the decisions now in the afternoon who actually starts and how many minutes we will give to the players. But they came in very good spirit, and they came in very good shape. I feel them proud. I feel them confident. They know what they did. They know what it took them to win the title in England, to have this little period where suddenly it was in doubt, and they overcame it and managed to win the title. It meant a lot to them, and I think they have a clear understanding that they went toe-to-toe with the best team in the world at the moment, with Paris, and they had them, and they just lost in a penalty shootout. So they came in best spirits, and I'm happy for that.
And just one more on John Stones, specifically tomorrow. You said there'd be some players who would benefit from playing 60 or 70 minutes. Given the lack of football that he had towards the end of the season, presumably he would be one of the players who would benefit from maybe a bit more football over the next 2 days.
Could be. I need to double check with the physical department, actually. There can always be a little bit of we always have a second opinion of our performance team, what what he actually did through the week, what he actually was exposed at City in training and not playing. So this will everything will play a role when we take the decision, and then everyone needs to deserve to be in the starting lineup tomorrow, which he does. But we have strong 4 central defenders with Jurel Konsa, even 5. So decisions will be made in the afternoon. But the good news is with John, he's ready to go. He was not managed in training. He just does every training session full and no complaints. He feels very confident.
Gentleman over there.
Hello, Coach. Good afternoon. Fernando Petrocelli from AS Spain. Do you think
Yes,
Nico...
you are the favorites as also.
Do you think... No. I'm not going to ask about Spain. Do you think Nico O'Reilly has the skills or talent to become on the best left backs in the future? And the second one, Messi is also playing his last dance. Are you impressed that Messi at his 38, 39 still has this quality or this level? What do your thoughts about Messi's final World Cup?
You don't need my thoughts about Messi and about Ronaldo, guys. They are the goats. So they are here, and they are the teams to beat. Of course, Argentina, Portugal, Spain. So there you have 3 already. There's no doubt, and there's no doubt about the first question. Nico will become a top player. It's just amazing. His rise in such short time to be so influential and to create almost a completely new role of a left back. He might, I mean, even if he plays left back, he spends most of his time on a left 10 or like in a number 9, arrives in number 9 positions to score decisive goals for his club. And for us, he starts scoring in training, so hopefully we can use his skills. No, he's very humble, he's hardworking, he has the body, he has the skill set, he has the talent, he has the mindset. That's why we took him. It's amazing to work with him, and he will have a top career. Not even sure it will be a left back, because he can play as a left 8 and a central midfielder, but yeah, he's a top player.
Henry.
Thomas, you gave a very stirring talk to the players, the second star. Was that from the head or from the heart?
About which one are you talking about?
Just when
I'm shocked that these things are out there. You know that, right?
Well, there's a video. So,
yeah, I know. I'm shocked that it's out there. But.
Okay, but I mean, it was very. The reaction was very positive. A lot of the fans saying we're actually completely bought into you now. But when you were talking to them, was that from the head or the heart? How much of it was prepared?
Which one was it? Which one?
Well, how many have there been? It was the one when you were talking about the second star on the shirt.
So the very first, it seems like the very first talk, when my very first talk to the team. But it was from the heart, but I prepared it. So I had 3 months to prepare it. I started in January, and the first camp was in March. Well, it's just the first speech. I think not sure if the players remember it, and if they remember it, hopefully they just remember the feeling that it. I hope it made them feel good and made them feel excited, and yeah. Well, it is what it is. We have some of these talks, and some of them are more into. We have a lot of them about football, and some of them we have about to wake up some emotions, more emotional. So this was clearly from the heart, I guess.
And why do you think it's been 60 years?
Good question. Maybe not one reason, but I think recently in the recent tournaments, I think that the England national team is just there. Like if you reach semi-finals, if you reach quarter-finals, once you reach a quarter-final, you can win any competition. If you reach quarter-final in FA Cup, Carabao Cup, if you reach it in Champions League, there's my opinion and my conviction. Once you reach quarter-finals, you can go all the way. So I think it's important to understand, to not try to digest this whole tournament in one piece, and to focus on what we can influence. So at the moment, this is prep camp, and then we will take care about group stage. This is how I only know it, and how I always approached it in club football when we went to Champions League campaigns. make sure that you win your group, make sure that you go through your group, and don't get distracted in overthinking. Once you arrive with a team in a quarter-final, then you can go all the way, and then the belief will be there. But there has to be a lot of work done. There has to be a lot of respect for our opponents, for the environment, and don't underestimate the level of luck that you need with injuries, with decisions, So let's see. We go step by step. I think we're at the moment in a good moment. We're exactly where we want to be, and want to take the next step tomorrow.
Gabriel.
Thank you. Hi, Thomas. Even for you, this is new, the World Cup preparation, the build-up into a tournament like this. What's the tone you want to set within the camp? Because
the tone was very relaxed in pre-camp. We had afternoons off for the players where they could reconnect by themselves, where they could go out, have dinner, see friends, see their families. We had an evening yesterday where family and friends were invited into our hotel. We had a lovely barbecue yesterday evening in an amazing facility and amazing energy around in camp. So that was exactly what we had in mind. It should be relaxed. The focus will come by itself. The tension will just rise by itself, and it will rise when we change our location to Kansas, and then we have 4 days to prepare our first match, and then naturally we will go into the tunnel, and then it will be match by match by match. So the tone was very relaxed. It was about reconnection on a social level, but also reconnection with our football principles, because a lot of our players have played last time for us in November because they missed March camp. So it's quite a long time to reconnect with our football, and this is what we did. But the atmosphere was relaxed. The atmosphere was like it should be, and I think it's important.
Yeah, so you've been conscious, because you've had a long build-up into the first game, that you don't want a sort of nervous tension to begin too soon.
Yeah, I think we didn't want that. We didn't want to have the focus and the tunnel vision too early, because we came into the country early. Our tournament starts very late, and I think with the kickoff of the tournament on Thursday, and then with the matches every evening, the feeling just comes naturally, and it does not need to be built artificially too early. So, like I said, it felt more like a mix of pre-season, and players, holiday spare time. So it was a good mix. We were very demanding in the first part of the days, and the players had free time, downtime, and permission to do nothing and to relax and to get together in the afternoons and evenings, and that's why we feel in good spirits at the moment.
Okay, two to finish. James, then Brazilian TV.
Hi, Thomas. When you said earlier England aren't among the favourites because we haven't won it for so long, just the fact that they've got to the last 2 Euros finals, is that not a sign that they're getting closer, or is that not relevant to this tournament?
It's absolutely relevant. Like I said, I think if you go to finals in the Euros, if you go to semi-finals, quarter-finals in the World Cup, then you're there, and then you can win it, and it just takes maybe a bit of luck or whatever. I strongly believe that we are there, but I also believe that we are not the favorites because of the history. And it's just like if you I don't know, maybe it's the wrong comparison, but if you go now to Wimbledon, you have never won it, or like 60 years ago won it, you're maybe not the favorite. So but you can win it, of course, and we want to win it, but we know what it takes, and it takes also a calm mindset and focus on our steps, not get if we want to reach the top of the mountain, we need to start the journey step by step, and we need to go base camp by base camp. Otherwise, we will just get distracted. So I have belief. We all have belief. We all have a dream, but it comes with responsibility and hard work and commitment and discipline, and sometimes comes with disappointment and setbacks. This is all included, but we dare to dream, and it's important.
And I just want to ask you a general one. I don't know how much you're aware of this, but Africa's top referee's not been allowed into the country.
Yeah.
And it's brought up a lot of the politics around this tournament in general. Obviously, there's been talk about the political climate, border security, ticket prices, all this stuff. I mean, are you able to separate the politics from the football?
Yeah. And I'm very grateful for the FA that they let me separate it and they let me be the head coach and talk about football and just talk about football. Otherwise, we have no chance to go all the way if that's not the case.
Why?
Sorry?
Why?
Not because we need to be focused. We need to be focused. It's hard enough. The tournament is hard enough if we focus on football. If we're gonna be distracted and I give also too many opinions without having the full knowledge about the situation. It does in general not help.
That's one.
Yeah. Thomas, TNT Sports, Brazil.
Excellent.
What
we
about
have all of you.
Yeah. What about
Favorites?
All right. What about Neymar? No, I'm joking. But throughout your career, you have been coach some superstars, Neymar as well, Mbappe, those kind of players. Yeah. And we look at the season and the whole career of Harry Kane, and of course he is a superstar. But I have the sensation that he is a different kind of superstar. I don't know if you have the same feeling, and why is that?
He is a superstar, for sure, and he's getting better and better. I love, by the way, all my Brazilian players that I had the chance to work with, all of them. They were very, very special for me, and they still are. There were quite a few very, very good ones and amazing personalities always. Harry is as well. He's a fantastic leader. I think he's in I used the word before, but he's in a sweet spot of his career. Quite late, but he is. He's just lean, he's sharp, he's fully focused, he's in top shape. I think the last 2 seasons, the success he had and the influence he had with Bayern Munich, the intensity they played at Bayern just helped him to reach this level of his personal potential. He thinks day in, day out about how we can win as a team, how we can perform as a team. That makes him very special. This is where he is at the moment. I think this is what he felt also in Bayern Munich, that you can really go very long in European competitions like Champions League as a team, if everyone buys into the idea of this intense game that they play. So it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure that I had him in Bayern Munich, and it's a pleasure to have him here as a captain. He's truly our leader and in fantastic shape at the moment.
The last one, as you said, you like your Brazilian players that you have into. What do you feel about Neymar in this competition? Seriously, he made it. He was struggling to be there, and now he made it. Do you feel that it's good for the World Cup that a player like him is
also one of the biggest now, like Ronaldo, like Messi is just like this incredible, talented player. This big personality. He has the personality, the confidence, the quality to decide matches on any level. It's just a matter of fitness, and I don't know about that. So he is in the team and makes your team, of course, more dangerous. And you're always in the mix when it comes to World Cups and to titles. That's a no-brainer, and makes it a little bit more difficult for everyone else.
Okay, thank you very much, and see most of you in Orlando.